Imagine this, losing the weight you want to lose and keeping it off. Many people do that diet yo-yo thing where you lose and regain the same weight over and over again. It's incredibly unhealthy. And I was incredibly guilty of doing just that for 40 years. And I have to say, I do not recommend it. It's like perpetual failure. And it's expensive too, because you have to keep all those different sizes in your closet. No kidding, at one time I had 4 different sizes in my closet. Now they had names, but I called them my skinny clothes, my watch yourself now clothes, my fat clothes, and my seriously Renee clothes. I'd start a diet and I'd do really well for a while, but then something would happen and I'd go straight to the refrigerator. Peanut butter will make me feel better. I'd whip off that checkered lid, and before it was on the countertop, my spoon was plunged in, and oh, that lovely, salty, crunchy goodness. Except I was still upset and frustrated, and now my diet was blown. Sure, I could start again on Monday, and probably the Monday after that, but every New Year's resolution for 40 years was lose weight again. In 2012, I was staring down my 50th birthday, and I realized something has to change. You see, I know all the diets. I just couldn't stick to any of them. So I got on the internet and was doing some research, and I ran across this piece of advice that seemed absolutely ridiculous. Only eat when you are hungry. Huh? Who'd have thunk? Where's the fun in that? Well, you kind of have to work with it. So that idea actually joggled my world. You see, in my family, when we were upset, we ate. You get a little bored? We ate. Do you need a little comfort? That's it. We ate to soothe ourselves. And emotional eating sabotaged every diet I ever tried. Harvard, a university on the East Coast of the United States, recently released a study. It's called Diet Fits. They were trying to work out what the genetic component is for weight loss. They didn't find that. But what they did find was that the issue was not the diet. The issue was emotional eating. Indeed. Well, it took me a little while, but I did finally lose my weight. And the best part, 5 years later, I have not gained it back. Thank you. I learned other ways to soothe myself. And since then, I've helped lots of women and a few men get a handle on their emotional eating. And I believe you have it within you to get free from emotional eating. And for the next 7 minutes, I'm going to show you how. So how do we lose weight and keep it off? Let's do 3 steps. Step 1, break that diet yo-yo mindset. See, if we don't believe it's possible, it's not likely to happen. And when we break that diet yo-yo mindset, we start from the place where we believe it's possible. Do you have that idea within you? And if not, let's consider a few questions. What skills or talents have helped you succeed in other areas? How could you use them here? What is it that makes you think you can't succeed? Do you want to succeed? And for some of you, is there a danger for you in succeeding? We have to tease out those subtle beliefs and agreements we've made that trap us in that mindset. And if you do, you might find that that trap is nothing more than tissue paper. Step 2, recognize that a diet isn't just for weight loss. What you learn is training for what works for your body. You know what I learned from all those diets? Lots of things. One is portion sizes. Our portion sizes are so skewed. For example, depending on your program, because they're all different, a portion size of protein is about the size of your palm. Measure that against your standard restaurant serving. Yeah, big difference. I also learned new recipes and food combinations that actually kept me satisfied, as well as what kicked my cravings to crazy, right? For my body, carbohydrates, they always want more. They want to bring all their little friends along and usually attach themselves to my hips. It's not a good thing. So I have to manage those so they don't kick my cravings into high gear. I learned go-to meals and snacks for when I was in a rush. Here's a pro tip for you. If over-hunger kicks up your emotional eating, it's okay to carry a snack in the car for the drive home, so you don't want to eat the house when you get there. Yeah? I learned what works for me as well as what would be sustainable for a lifetime. That's key. What would work for you? Step 3. This is, okay, I'm gonna back up here. Can we just talk about that emotional eating thing? I know. What drives us to food? Well, it's easy. It's certainly available. It's legal. And the effect? Instantaneous. It just works. And, this is fun, it's actually a physical response. Because when you eat food for comfort, it floods your brain with a neurotransmitter called dopamine. Dopamine controls the brain's pleasure and reward center. So you eat something pleasurable, you get the dopamine, and you feel better. For a little while anyway, right? The single most effective element of my weight loss and maintenance is this mantra. Face your stuff, don't stuff your face. I had to learn what was coming up for me. What was I trying to stuff down and follow with a food chaser? Because if I would get back to figure out what was going on for me, then I could get to my best self. And my best self always makes much better choices. So the root of emotional eating doesn't have to be some trauma, although it might be. It could be an experience you had, or it could be a belief you picked up along the way, or it could be a tender memory. My grandmother loved peanut butter just as much as I do. Even the sight of the jar can connect me to my Nana. Even more, it is a tangible connection to the encouragement she gave me. Do you see how that works? Yeah. Okay. So what about you? What food do you go to for comfort? Take a minute. Close your eyes. Think about that food. Can you see it? Can you smell it? Can you almost taste it? Now, consider, when did I first have that food? Who gave it to me? How did it comfort me? And then, what other ways can you meet that need? Okay, you can open your eyes. When we recognize what's going on for us, then we can face our stuff and make other choices to meet that need. So, here's what I know. You can lose the weight and keep it off if you break that blinking diet yo-yo mindset. You can lose the weight and keep it off if you learn from your experience and do what works for you. You can lose the weight and keep it off if you recognize what drives you to food and face that. You can lose the weight and keep it off. Thank you.